Good morning, friends. Morning, morning. Thank you, Mima, for the follow just before stream started there. Appreciate you. Welcome in, Charles. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Orchid, or Catherine, my son. Wanna, thank you, thank you. Hi, everybody. It is, in fact, stream time. I'm very happy to be streaming today. Very, very, very happy to be streaming today. While we wait for a few more people to come in, let's I'm gonna give you some POW cam time. I fed POW her favorite food this morning. Well, I put it together. Toot actually fed her, so her favorite junk food is these pellets from Missouri. Not Missouri the state, but Missouri the company. So I gave her those along with some other pellets from Zoomed, and as you can see, she quite enjoys them. No, Missouri, not Orchid, Missouri. Too close. But hello, everybody. Welcome in. It has been a week since I streamed, so as you can see, we've got some different avatars. Toot upgraded to the ghosties, and I immediately stole the snakes. We've also got some new animated emotes. If you are a subscriber, definitely check those out. Also, different camera angle today. I'm kind of, you guys know my leg is, I'm laid up, so I had to adjust things a little bit, which is also why I'm sitting at this fantastic angle, because my leg is currently up in the brace with an ice pack. It feels amazing. Little Missouri beard of delight on their face. Yeah. Yeah, no, she loves her pellets. So give her a little treaty treat today. I mean, they're not junk food in that they're bad for her. They're actually quite good for her. They've got all of the nutrients that she needs in one little pellet form. And a lot of tortoises and reptiles live entirely on a pellet diet, which is totally okay for them. Michelle accidentally had me muted. Hi, Michelle. We're watching POW enjoy her favorite food. I like giving her like fresh and fresh greens and fresh fruit and a little bit of chicken and egg over the pellets, but I keep the pellets on hand for special days, and if the fresh goes off or something like that, or I need to get to the grocery store. But she likes it. It says, just curious, if someone ran into we imported your chart but we're not able to index the symbols. There is no easy fix for that, unfortunately. I have not actually found a fix for that at all. I will help after stream. Carol says I would have guessed chicken was her favorite. I think, like, I don't think of Missouri as like her regular diet. Okay, looking dead into the camera there. I think chicken is her favorite, like, actual food stuff. Charles has been gathering data on Pow's Tree Eats and trying to see if there's correlations, like there's certain foods that she prefers. And so far, the only correlation she's found, it's very interesting, the only correlation they found is that Pow often goes for the food on her left, which isn't determined until Toot actually puts the food in there. Or could ask, is there a spreadsheet? I'm sure there is. Hi, Bubbles. Yes, this is our tortoise Pow. She's a red-footed tortoise. Having a little snack here. So she's usually up with me on screen, usually just up in the corner. And if you want to know more about whoever is on the camera, you can use the command !critter. You'll get a little bit of info. Orchid says she's a sassy tortoise. She is. She is full of sass and vinegar. Charles says there is a spreadsheet. I will link it later. Nice. Yeah, I will ask you for that later. We enjoy data points here. We do indeed. And yeah, just a reminder, you can customize your snake buddy by going to my about page on Twitch, and there's a little box thingy where you can choose your snake morph and color and little accessory. I think banded snake is the default. Orchid says statistics on arbitrary things makes me so happy. Statistics are just interesting. But yeah, I would never put Missouri on a tree eat because yeah, she would just go for it. Lady K, thank you so much for the sub with Prime. Thank you. That is so appreciated. Don't eat Missouri. You like it there? Okay. Just for Orchid, we won't eat Missouri. I think... So it has quite a strong smell. So I think she would go for it first because she would smell it first. And be like, I want this thing. Oh, she's such a mess. Orchid says, can we experiment? Alright, maybe we'll set up a Missouri versus chicken experiment. I don't want anyone to lose their channel points, though. Maybe we'll just do an experiment without the gamba. You can even put it on the side she doesn't go for. Interesting. Interesting theory. Well, you guys can keep watching her have a little nom there. She did go for that side when it was chicken, so I don't think that would be enough. Interesting. Orchid says, don't take away my gamba. It is my right to lose. Alright, Orchid, just for you. So yes, welcome. This is a cross-stitch stream. It's not a watch tortoises eat mushy food stream. Maybe. So this weekend is 24 hours of cross-stitch. If you guys didn't know, it's an online event. It's super casual. Some people do take it quite seriously, but for me, it's super casual. Lady K says, I live in Kansas, please eat Missouri. Yes, Michelle, streams can be two things, so maybe maybe this is a watch a tortoise eat mushy foods and cross-stitch stream. But yeah, basically the premise is from Friday morning to Saturday, the Sunday evening, whatever your time zone is, you try and cross-stitch for 24 hours. Not like 24 hours continuously, but 24 hours over the course of 3 days. It's been a lot of fun. I'm not taking it as seriously as I did the first time I participated, because that was a heckin' grind. So we are into hour 9 at this point. The stream is going to be hours 9 and 10. Kansas would be easier to eat. It's flat like a panini. That's true, but Pow struggles to eat flat things. So if it were Pow, it might be harder for her to eat Kansas. But what I am stitching on now is the second of my 24 hours of cross stitch projects. First, really, I decided that I'm going to make them like the same pattern. But this is one of my little designs. You probably recognize this guy. It is, in fact, Cozy Bob, but a tiny Cozy Bob. I'm almost done. I have one more stitch on. I was gonna work on a different project for Olive Stream, but I was so close to finishing him, I didn't really want to put him down. Thank you for the hydrate, Toot. Let me take care of this thread before I hydrate, or it will get lost and stuck to things. Everybody else, you have to hydrate whenever Toot makes me hydrate. Or whenever Toot posts their hydrate emotes, or whenever anyone posts a hydrate emote, you have to hydrate. These are the rules. I don't make them. Yeah, exactly like that. Alright, so Cozy Bob's done. Let's see if I can get him up to the camera there. So this is a tiny version of one of the first patterns that I put out. A little bit of a blast from the past, but I absolutely love him and his little hat and his little pumpkin spice latte. And he did have a brother, and I never actually stitched his brother, but now I have. So this is Sweaty Bob. So Sweaty Bob is in the summer. He's got a nice cold boba, and then Cozy Bob is in the autumn and has a nice hot drink. So these two little guys will be available in the shop as a pattern at some point. I can't remember exactly when, but at some point. I'm really happy with them. They're so cute. Oh. I love his hat. Like, his hat is one of my favorite things that I've ever designed. And I love his little, like, scrap of sweater hanging off his arm. So cute. I've been on a bit of a finishing spree. I wanted to show you guys these on Thursday, and I just hadn't I hadn't had time. But I've been on a bit of a finishing spree. As you can see, I've finished a few small things. Also, so this pattern, little Valentine's candy round, was just released in the shop on Friday, yesterday. You can grab this one now if you would like. Super cute. I love it. Oh, thank you for the Etsy command there, Toot. So it's available on the Etsy and the coffee. So this is the companion piece to this Christmas one that I put out. You can see, like, same vibes. And then coming this Halloween will be the Halloween version. This one didn't get released this Halloween, but it will the coming Halloween. You've got like your little candy series here, which I think is so cute. And these are 4-inch hoops, and this is just done on 14 count. So if you wanted like a really small ornament, you could do it on 16 or even 18 count, and you get a nice little ornament for the tree or whatever. I love that they've all got like a different palette. This one's very like pastel and chocolate. But yeah, I finished these little guys. And then this, you guys might remember, because we designed this together on stream quite a while ago. And I stitched it up pretty much right away, but I haven't framed it until now. So I really like this one too. I don't know where I'm gonna put this one. Right, I kind of want to just like thread a bit of string around it and hang it around my my horrifying model's chest, my horrifying model's neck. Welcome back, Orchid. Hello. And then I framed this guy too. So this was this is a design that I started but is never going to be released. It's Bob from Beetlejuice 2. From Beetlejuice. Sorry, I got the name wrong. But yeah, he fit quite well in one of these little 4-inch hoops. So I don't know where he's going to go. You want to see the back of the cookies? Okay, here you go. This is my back lacing method. I put them in the hoop. I trim them in a circle. If I trim them in a circle before I put them in the hoop, I end up with not enough fabric, so that's what I did with this one. Like this one is a better example. And then I just take 4 or 6 length threads and weave them in, and then pull it tight. Yeah, that's how I do it. Very simple, very easy. Bob can hang from Sandy's enclosure. Perfect. I like that. We'll hang this from Sandy's enclosure. Sandy the sandworm. But yeah, so my horrifying knitwear model is a Fraggle head on a human torso. So I kind of want to just hang this around their neck like a giant Flava Flav clock. I don't know. Anyways, I just wanted to show you guys these things because I'm very, very happy with them. Alright, but I finished. So Cozy Bob is done. So I'm gonna get to the project I was planning on working on during stream today. This is not one of my designs. Surprisingly. I'm working on this for... Why do I have a single thread of this? I blame myself. Working on this for Liz of Black Welt Stitching. I think I just hit the camera. And thank you, Toot. Toot's put up a link there to Liz's shop. Lady K's drinking coffee with honey. Lady K's always drinking coffee with honey. Oh, enjoying one of the new emotes I see. I did try the coffee with honey, and it was pretty good. If I liked non-creamy coffee, that would probably be my go-to. But I just like that little bit of extra cream. And Orchid asks, I think I've asked before, well, what you got? This is actually a Fitbit. It's a Fitbit Inspire 3, I think. So I don't track my steps or my workouts or anything like that. The reason I have it is because it tracks my heart rate, and it warns me if my heart rate goes too high. And then if my heart rate goes too high, that means that I basically need to sit down and chill. So that's the reason that I have it. It still does all the other stuff, I just don't pay attention to it. Mused Angel, welcome in. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. We're just chilling, stitching, watching Pau make a total mess of her lunch. And I am attempting to count to 6. You've been watching for a few minutes and love the vibes? Oh, well, thank you for the follow. Hope you enjoy. I'm usually live Thursday and Saturday mornings. Doing the cross stitch thing. If you like the vibes, Toot, my spouse, goes live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday mornings, doing no commentary gameplay. Very similar vibe, very chill. Let me do a little shout out here. I'm doing pretty good, actually. I am, got my, feeling cozy, got my leg up, doing some stitching here. I did my to-do list this morning, because that's what I do first thing, and it wasn't super overwhelming, which was a great feeling. I've got some stuff to work on around the house, but I'm also going to do some designing this afternoon. I think that's going to be fun. Cheryl said that they are knitting for stream. Cross stitch is not stream compatible. Yeah, Cheryl, you were saying that you can't cross stitch and like do other stuff, which a lot of people can't knit and do other stuff. So it's all a matter of juggling, balancing act. Toot is working on a black welt stitching piece as well, and they are drinking Red Bull and another Red Bull. I don't know why I let Toot have 2 Red Bulls this morning. I watched Toot get 2 Red Bulls out of the case, and I had this thought like, this might not be a good idea. Did I stop it? No, I didn't. Oh, Orchid, thank you. We hurt you too. See if I can move this camera a little bit. Orchid's gonna do some homework and hopefully do some crocheting afterwards. Nice. What are you working on? Another commission? Angel says, I want to get back into cross stitching. Recently did a cheap one I found on Dollar General for Christmas, and it made me remember how much I enjoy it. Yeah, cross stitching was one of those things where like I've been in and out of it since I was a kid, basically. Like I learned when I was, you know, when you learn 1,000 crafts when you're a child, like 7 or 8. And then I kind of got back into it and I got back out of it. But Every time I pick it up, I'm like, oh yes. Yes, I like this. My brain likes this. Michelle's snake disappeared because you're too busy stitching. Yes, the snakes time out after 3 minutes of not talking in chat. Just FYI. But yeah, so what kind of got me back into cross stitch? Got us both back into cross stitch because Toot fell back into it before I did, and then I kind of like just, you know, copied them because I want to be exactly like them when I grow up. Was the number of new patterns and new pattern styles available. Because, you know, like in the aughts, trying to figure out, in the aughts, it was like you could do a Haid, or you could do a Christine, what's her face design, Christine Shannon Christine, or you could do a Dimensions kit, and like that was kind of it. But now there's so many cool indie designers doing cool things, and just totally reinvigorated our love of the craft, and actually got me into designing as well, because I kind of found my artistic voice, and I'm really having a lot of fun exploring that and sharing it with my community. Orchid cannot get away from commissions. Emotional support mushrooms. Aw. I can see emotional support anything being very popular. And you are very good at making adorable little things. Like we've spoken before at how I am not good at making things adorable, but you are very good at it. Well, thanks, Angel. Yeah, it is pretty awesome. And I've met so many awesome people through cross-stitch design. You see Bob is adorable? You mean this Bob? Yes, but when it comes to like knitting and crochet, I'm so bad at doing like the little finishing details that make them adorable. So they just end up like, the bodies look good. The bodies look as they should, but the features all look cursed. Orchid says that's the goal, little things. Yes, if you'd like, check out Orchid. Little Things Sophia on Instagram. I don't have a link set up. Oh, thank you, Angel. Yeah, this is a little guy I designed. I just finished him like a minute ago. But he's a little skeleton. His name is Bob. He's wearing a sweater and he has a PSL. All right, guys. Well, we've been going for about half an hour, which means that we are going to take our little stretch break. Let me put up the break screen. So you guys know the drill. Gonna take a 3-minute break. If you're watching on YouTube, enjoy the vibes. If you're watching on Twitch, I am going to run a 3-minute ad. Get up, stretch, unshrimp, grab a drink, hydrate, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys back here in 3 minutes. Everybody, welcome back. Hello, Deonce, welcome in. I do not know what Pow is doing. Well, so speaking of these little guys, if you think he's cute, you might be interested in the Tiny Garden Sow. The Tiny Garden Sow goes on sale on Monday. A 5-part mystery sow. If you did Tiny Witch, it's the same size but quite different in subject matter, and kind of a lot of the same opportunities for customization. So if you want to check that out, it'll be released on Monday, dropping this Monday, and the first clue will come out March 3rd, and it'll run for 6 weeks. So there's going to be like a break week in there. So yeah, if you like little guys, check out Tiny Garden. Is Small Cozy Bob going to be released? Orchid asks. Yes, he is going to be released. I put him on my release schedule. Can I remember when? No. But he'll be released as in the same pattern as Sweaty Bob. They're just going to be the tiny bobs. Yes, at some point in the next 3 months, they will be released. I know that they're on the schedule for some time in the next 3 months. I kind of planned my releases way too far ahead, to be real honest. I was kind of stressing myself out with that the other day. But I talked it out, and I'm feeling better. And you guys who are familiar with my design style, if there's ever a pattern idea or something that you'd like to see as a pattern, like, let me know. One of our upcoming freebies actually is based on a sketch by Orchid, and it's so super cute. You guys will get to enjoy that. I think that's either April or May's freebie. This is how far ahead I'm planning. Like, I would love it if I could just disappear into a cabin in the woods. Just me and Toot locked up in a cabin in the woods for like a solid month. And I just design constantly. Just design for like an entire year's worth of releases all at once, and then emerge from the cabin and I just have to release them. Orchid says it's kind of like a collab. Exactly like a collab. And the critters, yes. Toot says locked up in a cabin in the woods, you say. Yes, Toot is my #1 fan. And would happily lock me in a cabin. Yes, we'd have to bring all of the animals as well. We were talking the other day about moving vast distances over your cross stitch and how it stresses some people out. Toot tends to do that a lot. It says you took care of the hobbling on your own, making stuff too easy for me. I didn't. I was afraid of the sledgehammer, so I just took out my own leg. We make jokes about us being in the pair from Misery way too much. Trying to make sure you guys can see this well enough as I'm stitching. Usually I have the camera kind of like right behind me. Where am I pointing? Behind me, like there. And now it's over here. Oh. Charles says, I'm always worried about the effect of traveling long distances on cross stitch. Not the thing itself, but I worry that the Ada will distort or it'll snag and pull. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had that worry too, but I keep my fabric very taut. I don't like loose fabric or the sewing method. So my tension is usually fairly good. Where I leap vast distances, I'm just gonna off. One thing I've learned from doing 24 hours of cross stitch is playing floss chicken is not worth your time. It just is not worth your time. But yes, so I've kind of zigzagged all over the place. It looks like a constellation back here. But yes, I keep my fabric quite taut. You can hear this. I'm trying to drum on the fabric. So I don't feel like it's gonna pinch or pull in because I'm laying it so flat. And then usually by the time, like, I'll stitch over it. You know what I mean? Like, it'll kind of weave itself in as I go. So yeah, I'm not too worried about the floats on the back. It says I hate starting and ending thread, so I travel all over. Yeah, and like, I relearned how to cross stitch from Toot. So most of the time, if it's a habit Toot has, it's a habit I also have. Except for my bad habits. Those I learned on my own. Oh my god, how long is this thread? Now I understand why it was just a single thread. Charles says, yeah, in stitch dense areas, I will tuck the travels under the stitches that are already there. Yeah. Or I know that as I stitch, they will get stitched over and held in place. Toot not wanting to start or end stitches is also the reason that they do their floss lengths super long. So they started working with glow-in-the-dark thread for the first time. And the advice for glow-in-the-dark thread is do short lengths and stitch one stitch at a time instead of going doing it Danish style. And Toot was like, no, I'm ignoring all of this advice. Angel asks, what is the best way to end? I always get nervous with things coming apart. I honestly, like, you kind of saw me there. I'll just take my needle and run it under a 3 or 4 existing stitches. If I know it's an area that's going to get stitched over multiple times, I'll kind of... So like, there's going to be a lot of stitches here, so I just like go through one stitch and then another stitch over here, and I know that that end's going to get stitched over. But yeah, I just pass it under like 3 or 4 stitches and it's good. I mean, these guys, I washed them, framed them. I wasn't particularly gentle with them, and I got no loose threads, nothing popped out. How many stitches is Tiny Garden? Tiny Garden is 5,300 stitches, I believe. I put it in the listing notes, so the correct number will be in the listing notes. Tiny Witch was just about 4,000, so it's the same dimensions, but it's a lot more stitches. I'm very, very excited for you guys to see it. Tiny Witch it was so much fun to design. It was so much fun to run. The response to it was just incredible. And I really hope you guys are going to like this second one. Orchid asked what the washing process is like. So I have a mixing bowl that is just, it's the craft mixing bowl. It is not for food. I do a little squeeze of dish soap and then lukewarm water. And then I just, I kind of sink the cross stitch piece into the warm water, do a few swishes, let it soak for, okay, to be honest, I have ADHD. I let it soak until I remember it's there. And then, so anywhere from 20 minutes to 3 hours. And then I dump out the water, rinse out the soap, roll it up in a towel to kind of squeeze all the water out. I don't squeeze or crunch or wring the actual piece. I try and keep the piece as flat as possible. And then when it's dry-ish, but still a little bit damp, I press it. And what I found in researching how to do that was most instructions on how to iron your finished cross-stitch pieces assumes that you know how to iron stuff. Hey Ferris, welcome in. Lady Cases, that sounds similar to the timing for when I soak my plants. Yeah, it's until I remember that I was doing something. But yeah, like, I watched these tutorials and they were super detailed on how to wash. And then it would be like, now iron them. And I'm like, okay, but how? How do I do, like, I press and rub? Like, I don't know how to iron. Stop telling me to just iron it. So I had Charles walk me through step by step how to iron something. And my pieces since then have come out quite nicely. I should show you guys a picture sometime of Deadly Aquarium, because we got it hung. Orchid says, Charles, I need you too. Charles is a font of random fiber knowledge. I need to show you guys Deadly Aquarium, because we got it hung up. Toot scaled the bookshelves and rearranged some stuffed animals so that we could display Deadly Aquarium over our, like, aquarium of assorted under the sea stuffed animals. Looks really good. Toot says the only person who can keep plants alive in this house is Pow. That is 100% true. I don't know. Let me see if I can zoom out on the camera and show you guys. She's got a new crop of tomato plants coming in. Oh no, you can't see them. But back behind Peter Pan, there's like a little kind of like ridge of dirt going up. She's got maybe 7 or 8 tomato plants sprouting back there. In her old enclosure, she had a tomato plant that she had planted that basically took over the enclosure. Like, it was gigantic. And everything smelled like fresh tomatoes when you opened it. I don't think it ever actually produced tomatoes. It was definitely starting to flower when we took it out. But, and like I always say, we don't plant tomatoes in there. We feed Pow tomatoes, and then tomato plants appear. Farrah says it's that thing when someone forgets that what they know isn't as common knowledge as it used to be. Like, sure, 20 years ago when you had to wear nicer clothes that might wrinkle, it was important you know how to iron. Nowadays, so much is wrinkle-free, you just wear t-shirts, so you don't need to know how. Exactly, like, I've never had to iron my clothes. So why would I know how to iron? I remember my mom used to iron my dad's work shirts when I was like 6. Yes, Ferris Pow plants her own tomatoes, and tomato plants do smell so nice. It smells so nice. And exactly, lots of good nitrate in a terrarium, good humidity, good temperature control. It's really a great environment for growing plants. The funny thing about the enclosure where she is now, there's no dirt in there. It's peat moss on the bottom, layer peat moss, and then forest floor, which is like, it's not quite wood chips, it's like very small wood chips and bits of cocoa coir and that kind of thing. So there's no dirt in there. The tomato plants just have a very strong will to live. Charles says they're an old, you grew up ironing for your family. Farrah says same. Charles says plants don't need dirt. Yes, you've told me this. I thought plants needed dirt. I'm still amazed that they're growing. I'd worry about mold getting to any fruit in there. Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't eat anything that fruited in there. But it's just very cool that it happened. Volunteer plants will grow just about anywhere. Well, I'll take a picture of the little seedlings after stream, and we can watch them grow together. Sometimes Pow lets them grow, sometimes Pow eats them. So, we'll see. We'll see if any of them survive childhood. Farrah says, I saw a tree growing out of the side of a cliff. It was wild. Lady K says others, like say roses, will just wilt if you sneeze wrong. Yeah. Well, whatever we're feeding Pow is a very hardy strain of tomatoes. I'll say that. And some plants will be great if they grow wild, and then they just don't want to grow when you're caring for them. Yeah, and like some things are just better left to grow wild. I've heard that one thing I really want to try is Minnesota wild rice. I was watching, Toot sent me a TikTok about Minnesota wild rice, and the difference between cultivated wild rice and actually wild rice. And apparently Minnesota produces quite a lot of naturally wild rice, and the way she described it was just sounded so tasty. I'd like to try some of that sometime. I made pasta salad yesterday. Like, you know, just the Italian seasoning mix, cold pasta, oil and vinegar, and then veggies chopped up. And then I called it Minnesota ramen. And Toot was like, no, but also yes, but also no. Farrah says the mint plants in my yard that are trying to escape containment in the one bed, I've beaten them back to. But then I tried to grow them in a pot so they don't invade, and nope. Yeah, I've heard that mint is it's definitely not, it is productive. it will spread, but every time we've tried to plant mint, it just hasn't done that well. Charles says, I also know a lot about plants. You can ask me about that too if you want. Okay, I will. If we get anything actually growing in Pow's enclosure. Every now and then I'll sprinkle some seeds in there just to see what takes. Invasive, that was the word I was looking for. Mint is invasive and stubborn, Ferris says. You also have bamboo in your yard, which is also trying to take over. You should know that bamboo is the fastest growing plant on Earth. There's a species of bamboo that grows so fast, its growth is measured in miles per hour. She will never forgive you for the sunflower seeds. Oh god, those sunflower seeds. The sunflower seeds were a mistake, but I have more of them and I kind of want to put them in there again. The sunflower seeds germinated and took over real quick. Like, we thought it might be a nice snack for Pal, maybe a little bit of enrichment, and it was like suddenly she couldn't move in her own house. Charles says mint is like all plants, it has requirements you might not have been meeting. I'm sure that's absolutely true. Like I said, I'm not great at gardening. I just tried to move. I have my pattern keeper tablet here. I just tried to move my pattern using my computer mouse. Not gonna work, Self. Work. Minnesota also seems like hard mode for any plant that doesn't like cold. I don't know. Carl says when I'm on Pattern Keeper, sometimes I start looking for my phone. Absolutely, I do that too. It's or I'll be looking up something on my phone and then get freaked out that I can't find my phone. Thank you for the hydrate too. Charles and I, speaking of Pattern Keeper, I don't know if discovered is the right word because I kind of knew about it, but we confirmed that if you have a dimensions kit, which, you know, comes with the paper pattern, and you can prove that you have the kit, so like just taking pictures of the kit, if you email Dimensions, they'll send you a digital version of the pattern, which doesn't load into PK, but digital pattern that you can zoom in, and I would probably mark it off in Acrobat or markup or something. So much better than paper pattern now. Charles says it was so fast. Yeah, like within an hour, I think, of you sending the initial message, you had the pattern. I'm getting a Dimensions kit Monday or Tuesday, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna send out for the digital pattern, because otherwise I'd be photocopying it to make a working copy and probably enlarging the working copy so I can see it. So I might as well just, you know, use the digital copy. 20 minutes? Wow. That's really impressive. So yeah, so if you have a Dimensions kit, the it's Simplicity is the company that owns Dimensions. You just have to use their contact us form. When I worked in a copy shop, that's what I sometimes I kind of like instructed my coworkers on how to do this. But we would get, you know, people coming in usually for their grandmother to enlarge cross stitch patterns. And like one way, of course, is you photocopy sections of the pattern and just like enlarge them so you have a little sheaf of letter size paper. But what I like to do is I would scan the paper pattern in, and then I would print it on our architectural drawing printer. So we had like a black and white printer that did up to like 36 inches on one side. And it was for like blueprints and stuff. So it was super cheap. It was like 20 cents a foot or something like that. Like it was really cheap. So I basically do the entire pattern in one go, but like gigantic. So if I were to have to enlarge a pattern, I would probably go that route, or I just do it at home. I have a little scanner printer at home, but it needs more ink. It always needs more ink, of course. All right, we got a winner for the jump catch game. Lady K somehow manages to actually jump and get it. They've got the timing down. Meanwhile, I just bomb people randomly. Whee! Like, I can work from a paper pattern. I have before, many times. I would prefer digital at this point. Cheryl says, I used to only do paper patterns, but when I went back to it, it was worse. Yeah, I think at first it was like, okay, this is what I'm used to. And then it was like, okay, but it kind of sucks when you've tried digital. But on the other hand, Floss Tuber I was watching made the point that if you're working on something like on the go, they go to a lot of like wrestling tournaments with their kids. A paper pattern is a lot easier to manage than having like a tablet or something with you, because if they need to pull it out, they just have like a little folded piece of paper that they hold like on their hoop like that, and then they can just work from there. So like in that case, I think that paper, it definitely makes more sense. Otherwise, if you're just working from digital and you go out and about, you're kind of limited to what you can do without referring to the pattern a lot. I stopped stitching and picked up my mouse to do something. Oh right, I was gonna see if you can still see Pow on the critter cam. Might have gone back to bed. Yeah. So if you guys keep an eye on the bottom left corner of the critter cam, you might see her poking her head out, but that's her big hide where she spends a lot of time plotting our eventual demise. And a little bit of shameless promotion. If you guys don't use Pattern Keeper, or you just started using Pattern Keeper, or you're just interested, Here we go. I did do tips and tricks how-to video for Pattern Keeper. The sound quality I realized is butts, so I might re-record it at some point. But it goes through some common errors that you get when you're loading stuff into Pattern Keeper, as well as just some functions that you might not be aware of. You guys want to check that out on the channel. I am planning to do more YouTube videos. I want to do a wrap up of last year. I want to do like a plans video. I just have not gotten there. I love plan videos on YouTube. I don't know about anybody else, but like this time of year, and usually middle of the year as well, there's a lot of people who put out videos about like what their plans and goals are. I love those videos, like the organization and, you know, figuring out how many stitches you have to do of this and that. Of course, I never stick to any plan for longer than a minute, but I love the planning videos. I am loosely doing WIPGO this year. I don't know if I'm going to make my second WIPGO goal for January. I made my first one, which was 1500 stitches on the Spooktacular Sampler. My next goal is 1500 stitches on the Possum Coffee. Might get there, I might not. I kind of got distracted by Pizza Coven. And then if I want to finish Binks by the end of the year, I have to do 2500 stitches a month. And I've barely worked on her at all, so see. I'm trying to be good about like, this is what I want to do, but if I do something else, that's fine. Michelle says the pattern I'm doing for 24 hours across is technically full coverage. Therefore meeting my more full coverage goal. Technically. Does one project count as doing more? How many did you do last year? Because I think you would have to do at least one more than you did last year. Michelle's doing a really cute sandcastle and crab piece. It says technically correct is the best kind of correct. Well, you had 2 on the go, now you have 3. That's more. Okay. Alright, acceptable. I hereby ratify that your goal has been met. Also, I got distracted by this pattern. Liz from Black Belt Stitching said to me, Pizza Coven, and I was like, yes, I must stitch that. Pizza Coven, let's go. I even gave it one of my special needle minders. Where's my camera? My Lisa Frank aliens. That was doing a drop and spin to untwist my thread. So I know Orchid's working on an emotional support mushroom. Michelle's working on crabs. Toot is working on another piece for Black Walled Stitching. What is everybody else working on? I know, Charles, you said you were knitting. What do you, what's what is what? Yes, the piece that Toot is stitching for Black Welt Stitching is, I think, getting released February 1st or close to there, and it's so good. So good. Hallie is more knitting on my cable sweater. Nice. The pattern you picked for that cable sweater is really gorgeous, and I think it's a good first cable sweater. Like it's adventurous without being super difficult. Charlotte is working on Bessie. Oh yeah, with the stripes. Oh god, I love that. No, the stripes is the one that you're winging. Can't remember. One is stitching a pigeon bookmark. Cute. Beyonce's working on getting out of bed. That sounds so relatable. Okay, Charlotte. Yeah, Charlotte is working on the stripe top. Oh, Toot's working on your work. Shutting down. Who's working on You Are Not Too Much, not the test. All right. Angel is working on Watching Me. Oh, you should be putting things away in the RV. Put away something. Hold it in your hands and say, does this have a home? If you know where that home is, go put it there right away. And if there's not room for it in that home, make room. Maybe by removing something. I'm a declutter channel now. I've been watching too much, like I've been watching like cleaning YouTube and plans YouTube. Ali says it's teaching you a lot about cables. Good, I'm glad. Have you tried cabling without a cable needle yet? Because that might make a lot of the cables easier. You have to move spots in a few days, so you have to work on packing things up. Are you moving spots within the same like campground, or are you hauling it down the road? Does this have a home? Do you know where that home is? Okay then, yeet. I watched this one cleaning channel. Just about 20 minutes away. Okay, so you gotta move a little bit. I hope the move goes smoothly for you. Sally says, was able to do without a cable needle up to the 2x2 cables, but once I went to 3x2, I needed to get out a DPN to do them. Yeah, once you get to like 3 or 4 stitches off the needle, it can get a little dicey, especially if you're using a slippery yarn. If you're using a really grippy yarn, like Briggs & Little is my favorite wool yarn. Man, I could do a 7x7 on Briggs & Little, because like you pull out the needle and it just stays there. Like, yes, hello. Charles said if the yeet method was applied, they would own nothing. What was I saying? Yes, I watched channel Dana K. White, and her method, of course, like kind of relies on the fact that you're able-bodied in order to do it. But I do like that she sits down on a video call with people and like basically coaches them through decluttering their own space. Really interesting. I think it's a good way of like showing her method in action rather than just her doing it over and over again. That's Dana K. White if you guys are interested. But like I said, it's her method really does rely on you being able-bodied enough to get up and put stuff away at the drop of a hat. Which, let's be honest, I'm not. Any of you are not. Claire says I should probably eat more things. Holly said if you haven't checked out Clutterbug, I recommend. Yes, I love Clutterbug. I went through a period where I watched like every Clutterbug video, and then I kind of unfollowed because she started doing a lot of like dollar store decoration, instead of like you said, organizing for ADHD. Yeah, Kali says she's a pro organizer with ADHD and has a lot of recommendations for helping with that. She does. I really like her ADHD videos. It's just she went through a period where she was doing a lot of like decoration videos, which wasn't really my vibe. But she's interesting because she has like a classification system of what kind of organization person you are. And like she gives them really cutesy names, but it is actually a good method of kind of like understanding why your method of organization might annoy somebody else and their method might annoy you, because you don't need to deal with your stuff in the same way. And another one I like, so Clutterbug has ADHD. Midwest Magic Cleaning, he's autistic, and cleaning is his special interest. And lately he's been doing a lot of videos on going through autistic burnout and cleaning through autistic burnout and masking and unmasking, and it's just been really interesting because he's been talking a lot about the kind of the background stuff going on when it comes to cleaning while you're neurodivergent. Right, I think I'm done with this color. Let me just double check my pattern here. I haven't been ticking them off as I go, which I probably should. Ooh, I should also show you the pattern. And you saw nothing. Yes, okay. All right, we're gonna do some cheese next. Oops, just closed the entire pattern. That's fine. And thank you, Toot, for the hydrate there. But first, let's wind up the yarn. Oh, first let's finish off this thread. So yeah, so this is how I finish off a thread. So I'm over here. I've got a bunch of different things here. I know that this section is going to get stitched in. So I'm just going to like slide it under these 2 stitches here, and then like these 2 loose stitches over here. So it's really only under 3 stitches, but I know that I'm going to be stitching over this area here. So this thread is going to get covered up and tacked down in place by the time I'm done. But I find cotton thread is quite good at staying in place. It's not super slippy. Like if you knit or crochet and you're used to working with acrylic yarn, or especially chenille yarn, it'll just like flop right out of place. Cotton thread doesn't really do that. Oh, you're welcome. No problem. So that's how I end threads. The way I begin threads, I do a mix up of either loop start or buried start, depending on the thread that I'm using. But when I do a buried start, I basically just start stitching and then make sure that I go over the tail 2 or 3 times. And then again, usually by the time I'm done stitching, that area has been covered up. Versus cotton definitely has more, I guess it's more texture or friction that makes it stick. Yeah, I've heard it just referred to as like stickiness. Like wool is very sticky. Like I was saying with Kali and doing the cables, because it's got that kind of like grippiness to it. it just kind of stays in place. Hey Mike, welcome in over on YouTube. He says, this is so much fun to watch. I often wonder how other people stitch, and I'm a little embarrassed to stare at other people in public. Well, you are more than welcome to stare at my hands. I'm gonna say stare at me, and that sounded like a little bit weird. But yeah, I find the same thing. I like watching Flosstube and Stitch with Me's and things like that to see how other people do what they do, because there are such a huge range of techniques. And you know, when I was learning as a kid, you did what your mom taught you to do. Be real, it was usually your mom. And then in like the early 2010s, you kind of just kept doing what your mom showed you to do, because there wasn't this kind of online community showing you all sorts of different cool stuff. Toot says Cotton doesn't have social anxiety like the rest of us. It's the lonely whizbot. Charles says acrylic yarn slips off its ball and then tangles itself into knots if you don't pay attention to it. Paradoxical? It is. Sarah says the nice thing about watching a streamer is that you can watch all you want and it's not weird, so long as you don't make it weird. Alright, so I'll show you how I do a buried start. So I need to put my first stitch in here. Here. Okay, so I start in the lower left corner of each stitch. So I just go in through here, pull the yarn through, do my first leg, and then I'll flip over my work. And then usually what I'll do is I'll leave like a little tail like that. And then I'll kind of like hold it down with my finger and go down into the next. This is so hard to show you. I kind of hold it down with my finger while I finish the stitch. And I do that for just like 2 stitches. And then that's it. That's as much of a buried start as I do. And then if it gets caught by the rest of my stitches, it's fine. If not, it'll get caught by something else. Claire says that's how my mom taught me to start. Yeah, I didn't even know it had a name. Like, to be real honest, until like 2021, I didn't know that that method had a name or that there was a different way to start. I thought that was just how you cross-stitched. Same with Danish versus English. First says I didn't either. Michelle has achieved 13 hours. Yes, go stretch your legs, go catch some Pikmins. Catch some Pikmin? Befriend some Pikmin? I don't know. Mike said, I learned to cross-stitch in 1983 when the cross-stitch world was really different. Then I took a 20-year break. Now I feel like Rip Van Winkle as I enter a crazy new world. I completely understand that. Because, like, I learned to stitch when I was a kid, so like early 90s, mid 90s. And then I took a break until about 2010. And even that was different. And then I took another break until like 2020. And that was, and that 10-year gap was, it was quite a difference. Michelle says, take the Pikmin children for a walk is generally how we refer to it. PG Adventures, thank you so much for the raid. We just got a hydrate as well. Squirrel raid, time to go nuts. Welcome in, guys, welcome in. Raiders, my name is DH, my pronouns are they, them, and we do some cozy stitching here. I am a cross-stitch designer / streamer here on Twitch and YouTube. And yeah, we're just hanging out, we're chilling, doing some stitching on this project for 24 hours of cross-stitch. PG, thank you so much for bringing your peeps over. if you need to raid and run, I completely understand, but how was stream? I saw you were streaming this morning. I lurked for like half a second and then I had to start setting up for my stream. Thank you, Toot, for setting up that shout out. Hello, Gwen. Gwen coming in right at the right time. But yes, hello, raiders. Feel free to stick around. Gotta go do some self-care. I totally understand. It was good. 4 years of streaming today. Right, I saw that in your title. And I was like, 4 years. Wow. 4 years. Like, I feel like 4 years ago, I mean, this is just me being an old. I feel like 4 years ago, streaming didn't exist, but it did. Like, it did. You played Critter Cafe and Love Ghosty. Love Ghosty is a game I've seen a few times that I've been interested in. You've been on this site 2.5 or something? Yeah, it's crazy how much pop culture changes. Definitely blown up in the last 5 years, Ferris says. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, thank you so much for bringing people over. Donna Till, thank you for the follow. Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, we're just cross-stitching, enjoying the vibes. My tortoise Pow is currently hiding. She was in her enclosure, so if you look at the top left corner of the screen, the bottom right corner, sorry, bottom left corner of that, there she is. Hello, Pow. Mike says, by the way, you totally confused me with your video title of 11 January. Oh shoot, I forgot to change the title. I changed the thumbnail, but not the title. Ah, I'll have to fix that for the VOD. Thank you for pointing that out. I am live Thursday and Saturday morning, 10 to 12 Eastern. At least I try to be. You know, life gets in the way. I'm disabled. I'm not always up to streaming. That kind of thing. So yeah. But yeah, I'm usually live Thursday morning and Saturday morning. And I'm just gonna do a little command here. If you guys want some really good stitching background, Toot does no commentary gameplay Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday mornings 10 to 12. She plays spooky games, Phasmo, Inscription, but like no talking, just playing the games, and it is the best background music. We hang out in chat, we watch the game. It's so fun. It's just so chill. EG says you used to do crafting streams forever ago, but not managed. Yeah, it does take a much different setup than doing a gaming stream. Much different setup. I mean, I've got what, 2 cameras and a mic going on, whereas for gaming you don't really need a camera at all. And Toot doesn't even use a mic. Hello, Pyro. Hi, Pyro. Welcome in. Thanks for dropping by. Having a chill Saturday morning. Yeah, it's been nice to see you. How you been? I also hope you guys are enjoying some coffee and ridiculously sugary cereal, because it's Saturday morning and we're adults and we can do that. We're good, Pyro. We're good. PG just rated us. Congrats again, PG, on 4 years of streaming. Incredible. Incredible. And everybody's just chilling, crafting. Charles says my body disagrees with the coffee and the sugar cereal. And yeah, if you haven't already, let us know what you're working on. I'd love to know. Like Mike, you said you got back into it after 20 years. Did you have lingering whips that long, like old Dimensions kits or something? Or are you starting completely fresh? I'm always so curious. Gwen says I got up early to run some errands, but now you have eggs and waffles and chai. Ooh. I'm coming over for eggs and waffles and chai. Mostly for the chai. Charles says the sugar cereal mostly. Coffee is great, but now you have a craving for pizza. I kind of do too. I was gonna make tacos for lunch, but we've got pizzas in the freezer. Maybe we do a little bit of pizza for lunch. Hey Peggy, welcome in. Thank you so much for coming by. You just had a nosy at your Etsy shop. I am very impressive. Thank you. Thank you so much. I have been working, so I'm disabled, and right now I'm not able to do a traditional job, so I've been working really hard at working on the Etsy business and designing my heart out and sharing it with you guys. So yeah, I was showing off some of my designs earlier in stream. Got sorry, your PG2 two profiles, greedy. One for streaming, one for viewing. All right. But yeah, here's some stuff from the shop. I did this little series of, this is early. I did this little series of candies. Hi, Earls. Hi, Earls. And then these guys are coming to the shop soon. Early is not in the shop. Early should be in the shop. Early, do you want me to do a little cross-stitch piece of you? Alright, guys. Well, now that Early's here, we're gonna take a break. So if you are watching on YouTube, just chill, enjoy the vibes. If you're watching on Twitch, I'm gonna run a 3-minute ad. Unshrimp, grab a drink, grab a snack, give Early some love, and I will see you back here. I'll see you guys back here in 3 minutes. Alright everyone, welcome back. Hope you had a good little break, unshrimped. Mike says, I have unfinished projects that I'm discovering again, but I have a cool local needle workshop. My needle go. That has stitching nights. Lots of ladies doing large linen projects on 32 and 40 count. You do Ada. I also do Ada. I have like a curiosity to do linen. I tried it once and I really didn't care for it. I didn't find it, like, I know a lot of people who stitch on linen like the finished look. This is, hi Early. They like the finished look and they like kind of the challenge of keeping it neat. I do not enjoy that challenge. I wish to fill in my little tiny squares. I usually work on 14 count, but I'm trying different counts. I like 16. That's what I'm doing Binks on. And the kit that I have coming in, the Dimensions kit, it comes with 16 count Ada, but it's not gridded and it's a full coverage. I don't really feel like it needs to be the 16 count Dove Gray Ada. So I'm gonna swap it out for 20 count pre-gridded, which will be the furthest from home I've ever been. No, that's the smallest count I've done so far. I saw someone though. It was super cute. So I don't know if you're familiar with Flossy Fox Shop, but they do a lot of stuff with like little teeny motifs. And they did the Flossy Fox Shop Rainbow Dragon Sal, I believe it was. 1/1. So 1/1 meaning like over one square. On 36 count. So it was like, it was itty bitty. Each stitch was itty bitty. Each dragon was itty bitty. It was so cute. And yay, Gwen got wham in the mail, allegedly. It's gonna make it there safe. I have faith. There are... So we live in a huge city. There are no needle workshops in the city. I have to go north. There's one north of the city. There's one east of the city, and there's one west of the city. There are none in the city itself. So I haven't been to one lately. And I've heard that the one east of the city is west of the city is closing. Which would be unfortunate because they've been there for a really long time. I haven't been to an actual needle workshop in a long, long time. Gwen drew a lucky picture on the box. Good. But yeah, 14 count black Ada is kind of our go-to around here. I bought a vast swath of it from Amazon, and it will last us, even with the rate that Toot stitches at. It's still gonna last us like until the end of the year, at least. And then, like, other than 14 count Ada, I have black Ada. I have like a really small random assortment of other Adas. Like really small and random. She says a month at most. I'd say at least 3. But also, these things look so good on black. They do. They do. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mama Witch. Oh, I can actually grab my Mama Witch. It's right here. Maybe I can grab my mama witch. Yes. Okay. This is my mama witch that I've been working on. And like all of her designs look really good on Black Ada. And she actually last year, we're part of her Patreon. And last year she said that she was going to make a concerted effort to design stuff not on Black Ada. I think that lasted like 2 months, and then they were back to designing on Black Ada. But speaking of the Etsy and Patreon, if you like my style and you would like to get some cool exclusive patterns, I beat Toot to it. If you would like some cool exclusive patterns, we do have a Patreon. All paid members get a free little mini every month that you vote on to see, like, I give you a bunch of options and then you vote on which one you want, and also you can like request future options, as well as a larger for higher tiers you get a larger exclusive pattern that's going to be unavailable to the general public for 6 months. But yeah, go check it out. It's fairly new, but I'm really excited about it. Gwen says, I'm going to the city this afternoon. If Joann's is still open, I'm hoping to get some clearance deals. Yeah, Joann's filed for bankruptcy, I heard. But I've also heard it's like the 3rd or 4th time they filed for bankruptcy, so I don't know what's happening there. We don't have Joann's in Canada. We have Michael's, and that's it. Like, we have no other big box craft stores. Oh, everyone's mourning Joann's now. I don't know if they're closing. Like, I know that they filed for bankruptcy, but they might be able to keep some stores open, that kind of thing. Charles says, I heard that some stores are closing, but not all. And Gwen says, I think they're closing a ton of stores. Versus Joann's getting Toys R Us. Toys R Us still exists in Canada, like, unchanged. This is just an early petting stream now. Really, if I'm gonna pet you, you have to be on camera. The rules. You know the rules, and so do I. Ready? We do not still have Kmart. Gwen asked if we still have Kmart. We did in the late 90s. Wait, no, we had one. There was one still open after Toot and I got married. There was one Kmart. It closed. But yeah, there was at least one in the 2010s. Yeah, Cheryl said we had one until the mid-2010s. Yeah, Toot and I got married in, oh, it was a Zellers, not a Kmart. Yeah. Toot and I got married in 2009, just for reference. We are old marrieds. Old marrieds. Versus the last one I saw was late 90s. Yeah, I think about there for me too. Man, Zellers had the best, like, in-store cafe. So good. Versus got married in 2001. Hi, Earls. And the one in our city was already closed, so it was before that. Yeah, it's so funny, like, what you use as landmarks in your life. You're like, okay, so I was doing this, so it had to have been before this year, but after this year. Carol says, I think ours is reopening as some other big box thing. Yeah, the big boxes just keep changing. Maybe it's a Spirit Halloween. It says everyone measuring the closing of Kmart's by weddings. It's a pretty easy marker if you've got one, Farrah says. And that's very true. I'm on drift. Oh. Early. You see this girl? She had her chin on the arrow button, which is what was causing my my camera to drift. Early, is this your stream now? We're just living in it. Oh no, the mic picked up Toot. No one perceived Toot. Quickly. Thanks, Angel. This is Early. This is one of our cats. Early is, again, measuring by our marriage. She's about 14 years old, 13 or 14. We're not exactly sure. But yeah, she's my little shadow. We have a special relationship. This is how Early spends her entire day, by the way. I keep an area between my keyboard and my monitor clear, and Early just sleeps there with her chin on the keyboard. And then she occasionally just sleeps on me. But we're almost always in the same room. So, this is my Early girly. Her full name is Earl Jean Grey. Lady K just looked up and they are so cute. They are. My Early girly. Fluffy old gal. Oh, no worries, Mike. We're always good with lurks. All of our past streams are available on the YouTube channel as VODs, video on demand. So if you miss anything, you can always go back and watch it after. The video goes up, like, it has to process, so maybe an hour after the stream ends. Gwen says such a good name. It's a good name. Kiara likes to sleep between me and the keyboard, which is not terribly convenient. So that's why my keyboard is right here at the edge of my desk, because if I pushed it, if there was enough room for Early to curl up here, she would do that. Yeah, Mike, Earl Grey. Adorable. So we have Earl Grey. Our corn snake is named Genmaicha. Pao is named Da Hong Pao, which is a type of oolong tea, called Big Red Robe. Gigi, his full name is Darjeeling. Pico, of course, is our orange cat. So we had a naming theme for many of our animals. Bella is Rosabella. Mike says I like having this kind of almost personal chat. It's so nice, isn't it? So nice. Like, we watch a lot of big Phasmo streams, but it's nice being in a smaller mid-sized stream when you can just kind of talk to people. Really get to know. You really get to know each other. You can ask questions. Yeah, like if you guys ever have any questions about any of the animals, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, ask. I love talking. Farrah says I love pet names with a theme. Yeah. So Bella didn't have a theme. And then we had all the tea themed names, and then we got Sandy the Sandworm from Beetlejuice, and Pennywise, who is a clown, he's head clown, ball python. So I think going forward, our theme is going to be horror movies. And Wenna says Early has something very special. She is very special. She occupies a different place in the hierarchy of the colony. You just got a kitten? Aww. Kittens are adorable, but they are a lot of work. They are a lot of work. When had a Portal 2 theme. That's cool. Paris is in. I sit in 90 to 100 viewers and streamers trying to keep up with and talk to chat, but it's a struggle. Yeah, for sure. I watched one streamer and he would keep his stream on slow mode so he could try and keep up. But I think, like, we've got about 15-20 people here, and good, I can still talk to everybody. A lot of people are lurking, and that's totally fine. Like, lurk away. Mike says, to answer an earlier question, I am starting new stuff too, including my first Sal 2025 Stitch for Pride by D's 20 Stitches. I was so tempted by that. So tempted. I don't know if you saw the Stitch for Pride from last year, but D, who is another Canadian trans designer, with a very similar name to mine, does a stitch along that is Pride themed. So it's not just, you don't just get a motif every month, you get a whole lesson on queer history. It's really, really cool. And last year, he did different queer artists, and so each block was kind of like in their style. It looked so good. So yeah, I was really tempted by the stitch along this year, but I'm running my own stitch alongs, and I'm designing and doing test stitches for myself and that kind of thing. It was a little bit too much to commit to. But yeah, I love Dee's work. Sorry, I missed a little bit on kittens. Sociopathic kitten is Cave Johnson, and the stout little corgi is Atlas. We got another dog. It was going to be Peabody. And monkey should have been Shell. We didn't think in time. Charles suggests Tiny Pride Sal. You know what? I think I have time to decide a Sal in time for June. June is Pride. Maybe. Tiny Pride. I could do Tiny Pride. Or at least like a little Tiny Pride parade pattern. I'm going to add that to my notes. Pride all year. Yeah, absolutely. Mike says this year's theme is trans history. Yes, I saw that. So like each month you learn about a different trans pioneer. It looks really interesting. You guys want to check it out, it's D with 2 E's, 20 stitches, or D20 stitches, I think, is the Instagram handle. He's a cinnamon roll. Here says June is Pride Month, and then July is LGBT Wrath Month. I'm down for that. I'm down for Wrath Month. So I'm non-binary and asexual. Toot is agender and asexual as well. So we are highly queer here. Highly queer. July is Disability Pride Month. Oh, that'd be another good one to celebrate. Apparently December is Velociraptor Awareness Month. Gwen says, I don't know if I'll have the bandwidth, but you're curious? Gwen, you're curious about doing a Sal? Gwen, I'm so shocked. Chris says, I do feel there's some overlap there between Wrath Month and Disability Month. Is Charles okay with them being the same? Alright. Toot says Toot's answer to everything is nah. Gender? Nah. Sexual orientation? Nah. Charles says Gwen. Interested in Sal? Don't believe it. Speaking of Sal's, Tiny Garden releasing Monday. It'll be on Etsy and Coffee. I will be announcing it everywhere. First says it's probably a good idea to be aware of velociraptors. It probably is. It is sexual and gender. So I use they them pronouns. Toot uses she they. Just FYI. And if you're, we do have a wide range of people in the community. If you ever get misgendered by anyone in the community, or I do it myself, please let me know. I want this to be a safe space for everyone. That's why we have a lot of the server rules that we do, is because we're trying to be as safe as possible for as many people as possible. Toot won the jump catch game. No hacks, pure skill. Early, are you done being on camera? Doing a sleep? Okay. Sorry. Didn't mean to like whip the camera around there. The 360 no scope. That's what I meant to do. All right. Oh, holy cow! We're almost at noon. This is creepy. So it is time for us to get wrapped up. I had such a great time with you guys this morning. So fun. This was great. Oh, thank you for the Toot reminding us to hydrate with a little sandy emote. Perfect timing. I just finished my drink. All right, so I'm gonna just stick this here. But says I'm glad I woke up in time to join stream. Me too. I always love seeing you. I love seeing all of you. I feel like Mr. Rogers. I want to be your neighbor. Mike says I'm gay, in case you were wondering. I have a much more welcoming vibe here than on some of the other FlossTube channels I watch. FlossTube is a lot of straight cis women. It really is. I've found that. So whenever I find other queer creators and things like that, I definitely want to shout them out and lift them up. Claire says I couldn't tell if the snake was holding a water bottle or a knife. I love that emote because both would be fitting. Angel says I'm glad I found you. Can't wait to catch another stream. Nice. I'm so happy. So I stream Saturday and Thursday and Saturday, however you want to do it. I'm gonna shout out Toot again if you don't follow them already. They also stream on YouTube, and they stream basically every day that I don't stream except Tuesdays. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, tomorrow. So they'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern time with Ghost Church. It's really fun. We hang out, we play Phasmophobia, and we giant snakes. We play Phasmophobia and hang out. Mike says I have definitely subscribed to the YouTube channel and look forward to checking out your Etsy and Coffee. Thank you so much. So next week I'm gonna post the schedule. It's probably gonna be the same as this week. We're gonna do a Stitchy co-working chat Monday afternoon in the Discord server, and then I'll be back for streams Thursday and Saturday. If you haven't already joined the Discord, you should definitely do that, because that is where we hang out. I will be doing an announcement, of course, on Monday for the Tiny Garden Sal. I will be annoying you all until it launches March 3rd. Check out Toot, check out the shop, check out the Patreon. I think that is all that I have for you today. But this has been such a nice stream. I love our Saturday morning. I'm really enjoying the morning time slot. I hope you guys are as well. So at this point, what I would like to do is I would like everybody on Twitch to say goodbye to everybody on YouTube, and everybody on YouTube to say goodbye to everybody on Twitch. We're gonna end the YouTube stream. So goodbye, my friends on YouTube. I will see you in the comments section. I'll see you in the coffee shop. I'll see you in the Discord. But most importantly, my friends, I will see you in my heart. All right. Bye, guys. Bye-bye. All right. So